starts off with this map called the Piri Reis map, which is from like the 1500s or something like this. This Turkish admiral he was, and he had this map that was a conglomerate of maps that he said were even older, and it showed, God, what was on? I can't remember now. There was like the coast of South America, and you could see that like the tracing had been done a little bit wrong because there was 2 Amazon rivers. Or when you look at it, and then it also had down the bottom, it had what they think was the coast of Queen Maudlin's, I think, which is part of Antarctica, but it showed it the coastline as it was measured. It had been done by radar underneath the ice, and which would have been thousands of years before the last time that was ice free. And the book opens with that and a quote from the Air Force, who have been sent this map, and the Royal American Air Force, or whatever the fuck it's called, had sent back this email saying, we do believe that that is the case, and that's what it is depicting. And I was like, what the fuck is this? My teenage brain just exploded. And there was, and then there's a quote from Einstein talking about how plate tectonics might work, and how, and this is, I think this has been disproven since, but there was a fellow called Charles Hapgood who had this idea called crustal displacement, where after the planet had been spinning for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of force, I don't know if it would be centripetal or centrifugal force, would build up on the exterior, on the crust, and despite the plates, the entirety of the, what would you call it, the crust would move in one go, and it, and then it would cause, obviously, untold catastrophe or whatever, but it was kind of like an idea of how some of these cataclysms that have occurred would have occurred. But I think recently they've replaced that idea with the Younger Dryas impact. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No. Mm-hmm.
Which was a meteor or asteroid that came in and then shattered above Europe and landed in the ice sheets about over America and Europe about 12,000 years ago, and created a...
Okay, 12,000, okay.
Yeah, so like 9,600 BC or something like that, I think was the date, and created all this meltwater that then flooded through all the continents, and they think that that could be some of the basis for some of the flood stories, which exist all over the world through, I think there's like over 500 different cultures that have different flood stories that are similar to, Noah's Ark and things like that. And then... so I read this in Graham Hancock's book, and then I read a book called The Decipher, which is like by this author Stel Pavlo, which was a fictionalized retelling of the same thing. And then from there I started getting into the actual like historical stuff I could find. So, reading the Bible, which I've read a few times now. It's just silly, don't do it, it's boring as hell. So you got the story of Noah and the building of the ark, etc., etc. But then, in actual fact, there's the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is
love that story.
Yeah, which is written.
What is the story?
Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, so he was 2/3 a god, and he was a king of an ancient city in Mesopotamia. I think it was Ur or Uruk. I can't remember exactly. And he went on a quest to try and find a way to live forever. And he met an old wise man, I think, there's a few different names. It's not Atrahasis. I can't remember the names right now. But but yeah, he meets this other guy who is essentially the, what would you call it, like the prototype for Noah. He has the exact same story, like down to after building the ark, after being warned by the gods, which were, I think it's Enlil or Enki or something, one of these ancient Babylonian gods, that the gods are angry with how man has progressed, and that they're trying to do things beyond their station, so they're going to kill them all with a giant flood. 5,000 years before, and this god sneaks down to tell this man, because he likes men,
Tell him what's happening.
get your mind out of the gutter. So it goes down and tells this guy to build an ark or a big box, and it's got the dimensions and stuff. And then after the flood happens, he lets out the birds, the raven and the dove and stuff like that. It's like the exact same story. And then I started seeing those comparisons. I was just like, this is wild. And then you start seeing them like intercontinental.
Yeah.
And
They all kind of mesh together.
I don't know if there's anything to it. Like there's a lot of people who say it's pseudoscience and stuff like that. But there's a lot of coincidences that are kind of hard to dismiss. So.